These are daily affirmations you can speak over yourself from the book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Chapter 1. Domestication and the Dream of the Planet. I understand the dream. The world I was born into had its own dream already in progress. Its rules, its beliefs, its agreements about what is good and bad, right and wrong, possible and impossible. I inherited that dream without choosing it. I am choosing now. I was domesticated, not cruelly, simply as children are domesticated, through reward and punishment, through the approval and disapproval of the people whose love I needed to survive. The price of that domestication was my authentic self. I am reclaiming it. Every agreement I made about who I am, what I deserve, and what is possible for me was made by a child who did not have the wisdom to evaluate the agreement before accepting it. I am not that child anymore. I review my agreements now, and I choose which ones to keep. I am an artist. My life is my art. The domestication gave me a template I did not design. I am designing my own now. New agreements, freely chosen, grounded in love rather than fear, in truth rather than other people's opinions of me. Chapter 2. The First Agreement. Be impeccable with your word. I am impeccable with my word. I use the power of language to create rather than destroy, to build rather than diminish, to bless rather than curse. Beginning with the language I direct toward myself. I do not use my word against myself. The most damaging agreements I have ever made were made with my own inner voice, in the privacy of my own thinking, with no one else present to challenge them. I withdraw those agreements. I will not sign them again. I speak with integrity. I say what I mean what I say. Not because someone is watching, but because I understand that every word I speak is a seed, and I am the one who will live in the garden they produce. I release gossip from my life, not only because it harms others, though it does, but because participating in it requires to use the most powerful creative tool available to me, my word, as a weapon. I have better things to build. My word is my wand. I point it carefully. I speak life over myself, over the people I love, over the work I am doing, and over the future I am building. That speaking is not decoration, it is creation. Chapter 3. The Second Agreement. Don't take anything personally. Nothing other people do is because of me. What other people say and do is a projection of their own reality their own dream, their own agreements, their own fears and wounds. I am not the cause of their behavior. I am not the target of their story. I do not take compliments personally either. When someone praises me, it is their projection of a positive reality. When someone criticizes me, it is their projection of a negative one. Neither is the final word on who I am. I know what I am. I am immune to the opinions and actions of others. Not because I am indifferent to people, but because I understand that my self-worth, my sense of truth, and my sense of who I am cannot be determined by someone else's dream. Only mine can do that. When I stop taking things personally, I stop suffering unnecessarily. Most of the pain I have experienced in relationships has been the pain of making other people's behavior about me. I release that habit. I let people's behavior be about them. I live free from the poison of personal offense. This is not armor. It is clarity. The clearer I am about my own identity and worth, the less I need other people's responses to tell me who I am. Chapter 4. The third agreement. Don't make assumptions. I do not make assumptions. I ask, clearly, directly, and without apology. The courage to ask a question is infinitely less costly than the damage produced by assuming an answer I made up. I do not assume I know what other people are thinking, feeling, or intending. I have been wrong so many times about this that I have finally accepted a simple truth. I cannot know what is happening in someone else's mind. I ask them. I do not assume others know what I want or need. I say it directly, without expecting people to read my mind and then feeling wounded when they cannot. Clear communication is an act of respect for them and for myself. I question my assumptions about myself. The stories I have been telling about my limitations, my character, and my capacity are assumptions masquerading as facts. I examine them. I replace the ones that are not serving me with agreements I have consciously chosen. I live with the curiosity of someone who does not assume they already know. That curiosity keeps my relationships fresh, my thinking honest, and my heart open to being surprised about what is actually true. Chapter 5. The fourth agreement. Always do your best. I always do my best, and my best changes. Today's best is not yesterday's best, and not tomorrow's. It is what I have available right now, in this body, at this energy level, in these circumstances. I bring it all, and that is enough. I do my best without judgment. When I have given everything I have to give in a given moment, I do not punish myself for not having more. I acknowledge what was given. I rest, and I begin again tomorrow. I act because acting is my integrity, not because I fear the consequences of not acting. When I do my best for its own sake rather than out of fear of failure or need for reward, I am free. The action is its own completion. I practice the 4 agreements as my best, not perfectly, not consistently at every moment of every day, but as my sincere, sustained, growing effort, with the understanding that practice is what the 4th agreement is actually about. Always doing my best means never abusing myself. It means not demanding of myself what is beyond my current capacity, while also not settling for less than my current capacity is producing. The line between them is called integrity. I walk it. Chapter 6. The Toltec Path to Freedom. Breaking Old Agreements. I am breaking old agreements, not violently, not with drama, but with the patient, steady, daily practice of choosing differently than I have chosen before. Each new choice is a new agreement. Each new agreement is a new life. I use the 3 masteries to reclaim my freedom. The mastery of awareness, waking up from the dream. The mastery of transformation, changing the dream by changing my agreements. The mastery of intent, using the will to make the new agreements real. I practice forgiveness as the primary tool of freedom. Not forgiveness as performance or as theology, but as the practical act of releasing my investment in the story of being wronged. Every grievance I carry is an old agreement I have not yet broken. I break it. I face the parasite, the judge, and the victim that live inside me and run the old agreements. I see them clearly. I do not fight them. I withdraw their food, my belief in their verdicts. Without my belief, they cannot survive. I am free. Not because everything in my life is resolved or easy as I would choose, but because my freedom does not depend on any of that. My freedom is the space between stimulus and response, the moment in which I choose my agreement. I live in that moment. Chapter 7. The New Dream, Heaven on Earth. I live in the new dream. The dream of the planet said I was not enough, that I needed to earn my worth, that the world was dangerous and people were my judges. The The new dream says, I am already whole, already loved, already the fullness of what I was created to be. Heaven on earth is not a destination. It is a way of seeing. When I look at myself and others through the eyes of love rather than fear, when I use the 4 agreements as the lens through which I perceive my experience, the world I see is already what heaven points toward. I extend the new dream to everyone I meet, not by preaching it, but by embodying it. When I am impeccable with my word, when I do not take things personally, when I do not assume, when I always do my best, I am offering the people around me a glimpse of what becomes possible. I am grateful for the life I have, not as positivity thinking over difficulty, but as the genuine recognition that the miracle of existence, this body, this awareness, this moment, is a gift I did nothing to deserve and everything to receive. I receive it fully, I give it back fully. Today I will be impeccable with my word. Today I will not take anything personally. Today I will not make assumptions. Today I will always do my best. This is my agreement with myself, and it is enough. I hope this blesses you. Grace and peace.